throttle, lights out, and we are go here in Assen. It's a really good launch in the middle of that front row from Pekka Bagnaia. Binder's got away superbly as well on
the track. So Martino had made places on the brakes into turn one, ran wide and lost all of those places back again.
Into this tricky, tight first gear, turn number 5 for the very first. Drop behind Binder and Quattararo, who made a really good start. And Bagnaia's aggressive. He's got on the inside there of Bezzecchi. That picked Bezzecchi up. Binder comes through as well. The poleman back. Drone camera on the outside. That was just the start that Pekka Bagnaia wanted. He was side by side in the braking zone for the first corner with Bezzecchi, and then just toughed it out on the inside.
I was going to say, Bagnaia will be quite happy with the scenario. A bike between himself and Marco Bezzecchi, but possibly not if that bike's got Brad Binder on it.
Zarco on the inside of a lane.
7th. Here comes Bezzecchi trying to make a move on Binder, but good luck outbraking Brad Binder into the Timmy chicane.
Yeah, you know Binder's not going to leave any room now for Hampton to run. Aleix Spargo out wide, and coming through on the inside was that Miguel Oliveira, wasn't it? Yeah, and now they want 3 abreast. Oliveira puts his arm up here. He's getting really in Jackman in that final corner. So the perfect first lap in the sprint for Pekka Bagnaia. He leads it by just under a quarter of a second from Binder, the ever fast starting Binder who got us. So Bezzecchi, Binder will know he's there. Here comes Marco Bezzecchi on the inside. That's the textbook move into the second gear, 100 kilometres an hour default. 5 to string after what happened between him and Aleix Spargo in the main Grand Prix 1 year ago. You can understand perhaps a little bit of caution, a little bit of hesitancy there for Quattararo. It's very hard coming through turn 12. I think it was fast again through 13, 14 and 15, but Bezzecchi's just too sharp on the brakes going into Timmer chicane. They come through 16 on Binder. He's making light work of this, isn't he? He's already on the rear tyre of Pekka Bagnaia. This is where he got Binder on the previous lap, but default. This is where Bezzecchi's board
with Bezzecchi, and he's crawling all over the back. He's not going to wait, is he, for the Timmer chicane? There was no gap there as Bagnaia pulls clear as they enter the ramp, so that should leave him.
That deficit to Bagnaia, 1:32.353. Best lap of the sprint so far. That was well over 3/10 quicker than Bagnaia.
Zarco getting beaten up badly there to both of the Aprilias as Bezzecchi does now take the lead. Is that a mistake from Bagnaia, or has he just forced his way through? Bagnaia will now have the inside line into the...
They are such close pals. They're always training together, aren't they? They eat together, they drink together, they train together. They are side by side through the...
Bit of pressure from Brad Binder. These are crucial stages of the sprint. Bezzecchi now with clear tarmac. Can he immediately start to pull clear?
Straight away in the second sector on this. Bezzecchi then, where we thought he would be, where he expected to be, he leads this sprint halfway round lap 4.
Yeah, Bagnaia took the cautious approach there.
To mention Quattararo enjoying his best Saturday afternoon of the season so far by a mile. Nothing Binder can do about Bagnaia going into the Timmer chicane. Fabio, the Gian Antonio Red Bull Ring last August, as Bagnaia just snakes and pitches and pivots that Faccia Ducati into that first corner. There is the Gian Antonio. The guy who's bringing big trouble to this lead group right now is Jorge Martin, who's just had a couple of fastest laps in the sprint. He's just set his personal best lap on that previous lap. He's nearly 3/4 of a second slower right now than this man, his Mooney VR46 teammate Marco Bezzecchi, who sweeps right, then left and right again.
6th place, those are for the final points in this sprint. Aleix Spargo is ahead of Luca Marini now.
That is the battle for the final place of the podium right now. Here's Miller. Zarco's going the wrong way in this sprint as well. It's pretty awful. 250th Grand Prix, when just getting worse as Miller's lap of this sprint, a 1:32.399, and he's starting to drag himself potentially into podium contention. He was just out of your picture, making big progress.
Who just picked Zarco up. Zarco just couldn't meet the apex there, could he? Through to Strubber and left the door wide open. Alex Marquez said, thank you very much. Next behind them will be...
Towards Martin's rear tyre. Bezzecchi, though, has a lead of just under 3/4 of a second as we move into the third.
A 1:32.4 for Bezzecchi. He's got a quarter of a second clear of that chasing pack.
He dropped behind Frankie Morbidelli and Ralph Hernandez. Marquez was doing a 1:34.7. You just wonder already whether, having had 2 crashes again this...
Also wonder what his approach is compared to last weekend. Shades of the Sachsenring sprint, where Marc Marquez said that the risk and the reward factor made him basically...
a scintillating move of the entire season. Johan Zarco's having real trouble here, although he has just fought back on Jackman on that previous lap. He's trying to fight for that solid...
at the front as we run wide there with Jorge Martin through the ramp shock, and Aleix Spargo says thank you very much.
Brilliant. He's so good in that Timmer chicane, as we know, don't we, Aleix Spargo? Raging for that final point.
And Zarco has just been shuffled to the back of it through that first sector. He's now come through the first sector of this lap in 13th place. So 3rd place, and how quickly can Aleix Spargo bring himself onto terms with them? He started this lap 9/10 of a second adrift.
On the rear tyre of Luca Marini, that was going into the Timmer chicane. That could have been so easily a disaster for Vinales. So easy for him just to have that front end. as we can see now, a battle between Viñales and Marini. Marini's having an instantly forgettable sprint here. He said he had the one lap speed. He was
double to the end of the back straight. Quartararo next up. On that last lap, Aleix Espargaro was as quick as the two ahead of him, but not quicker. Although so far on this
faces as they look on from the Monster Energy Yamaha garage, this by far feels like it's been the best weekend of the season so far for Fabio Quartararo. Running out of steam a bit late on here. How much has he had to overwork that soft rear tyre to get himself through from 10th on the grid? On that last lap, Martin lost, hanging in that fight for 5th.
The good news for Martin is that he's got 2.5 seconds of empty tarmac behind him, back to Maverick Viñales, who only took a couple of tenths off him.
On here for the sprint win here in Assen.
Yeah, Bezzecchi will be seeing that on his pit board and seeing that gap come down. So now is where we're going to find out if Bezzecchi has any more up his sleeve to Pecco Bagnaia in this title battle. There you can see Martin just at the back of the picture as we look back in on the leaders. So far on this lap, Bagnaia has pulled another...
So then, Bagnaia, well, you know he's not a rider that ever throws in the towel without a big fight, is he? The world champion, he's taken...
Getting any closer, and through the first sector, it looks like he's done that. He's pulled another 2 tenths back out on Bagnaia.
Yeah, Bagnaia is keeping better. Bagnaia then, again, he has responded quite brilliantly, hasn't he, Bezzecchi? Over the line, he was 4.5 tenths clear of Bagnaia to start this lap.
That Marco Bezzecchi. We're going to come on to the penultimate lap now, and our focus is on the battle for the bronze, the final spot on the podium. Bezzecchi, that last lap, got...
Just what Fabio Quartararo talks about when he's got bikes parked in front of him on the racing line. It's so hard if he can't carry the corner speed to line up.
Now, he lost half a second on that last lap to Viñales, but with just 2 laps to go, he shouldn't come under pressure for that final place in the top 6 unless he...
Quartararo has it's been incessant pressure since these two locked horns from lap number 1 of 13, but I just wonder whether we're getting a clear indication here. 6, 7, 8 bike lengths now behind Binder as we get into the business end of this sprint. Is Binder just making a key charge here?
Okay, so I think he's just desperate for the checkered flag to come out in this sprint. Brad Binder's probably desperate to see the checkered flag as well. He's going to see it in a lap and a half time. Of course, we know that KTM is probably the fastest thing in a straight line, so Quartararo's had plenty of time to look at the back of that KTM, but can he figure out a place to make that overtake stick? He gets closest, I think, into Distrubben at the first part of the lap.
Last lap on the way then of this sprint, and continuing his utter domination of this. Quartararo just hasn't quite got the late race speed here to go with Brad Binder. It looks like we're locked in here. Bezzecchi, Bagnaia and Binder. Well, looks like sessions on Friday. He topped the free practice session this morning. An all-time lap record to take just his second MotoGP pole position.
Where Quartararo's losing out to Binder, he gets so close to him through that tight 30-mile-an-hour left-hander, and then Binder just streaks clear down the Veen to climb. As you see, coming through this final sector, Binder just has those couple of bike lengths over the Yamaha behind him.
Marco Bezzecchi just loves creating history, doesn't he? For Brad Binder, he's got a long lap penalty. There's going to be no time for him to serve it. Of course, there'll be time added on. Put him off the podium, will do. Marco Bezzecchi, though, is the sprint star here in Assen. He continues his one-man demolition and domination of this Assen Grand Prix weekend. He takes it by the